What's up, y'all? Welcome back out to the bench in the backyard. Today we're going to be working on this. Hold on. This Japanese maple. It's a little, looks like cutting grown maple that I got last year. So what we're going to be doing today is working on some of the structure. So what I'm planning on doing later on in the spring, after this buds out and or actually leaves out, is we're going to be doing a couple of air layers on this. I'll probably air layer this piece off and this piece off, and that will leave me with a tree about that tall. And then the year after that, we're going to be air layering down here to get something somewhere in this range. We'll see. It threw out a little bud here last year towards the end of this growing season. And so we'll be cutting back either to that or somewhere slightly above that if it throws out a couple more, just to we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 trees out of this in the next 4 years, hopefully. So yeah. Okay, so what I'm planning on doing is we'll be air layering here and here. So this one will probably wind up being like a windswept design, so this piece will come off and we'll have these two main shoots coming this way. This one will probably spread this out that way, bring this up this way a little bit, and bring this out a little. So we've got some stuff to work on, maybe wire out a little bit to get them kind of where we want them. And so yeah, so we're going to come in here, do a little bit of pruning. We'll prune back to some buds. Hopefully. Well, no. All of the buds on these two big windswept branches that I would be using are here and here, the first two buds. Actually, no, there's one right here. But this is, well, I've got one right here. So that'll be good. I can cut back this one down to here. And then this one will probably shorten to about here. So we'll have a tree that's probably 8 inches tall, maybe 10. So we shorten this back to here. This one can come back to here. And then this one, I've got a couple of buds down fairly low. So if we use this as our main trunk on the second tree, use this bud right here. It's actually got 2 of them popping out right there. So we can cut back about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch up above where this bud is. So yeah. All right. Before we get into this, just if you like what you see, throw me a subscription, throw a like down below. If you don't like what you see, again, like, the only way I'm going to learn is if you tell me where I'm messing up. And so, yeah, just any comments down below. I read all of them. Try and respond to all of them. And, yeah. So if you'll do that, that'd be awesome. That way I can learn a little bit more as I'm going along. Like I've said before, I've only been doing this for 2 years. So it's nice to have a little bit of critique and criticism down low to see where I'm maybe messing up and make my trees a little bit better in the future. All right, so I guess we'll start with what is currently the top. So this piece right here, which is going to be our little windswept one, I wish I don't have any buds that would keep that windswept look. That might not wind up being windswept. If I can get that pulled down like that, I don't really have anything to guy wire it to. I could double up on some 5mm wire. Might be able to hold it over. Might have to triple up right here. We'll see. But I mean, it would have to start like maybe tie down to this one. This is probably going to go away anyway. So I don't care if I screw that branch up. But if we tie onto this one and come up, we might be able to get enough pressure on this to bend it over. Excuse me. Bunch of little buds down here at the bottom. This branch, and that's really the first bud. That's way too long of a branch. That the whole thing's gonna have to come off. I mean, there is a little section line down here, but I've got 3 buds right around there that should help out. And that way, when one of those pops, I can choose the best of those 3 branches to kind of, which would take away from the windswept anyway, if I was to keep those. So that's all that's left of our first little top. We'll probably wind up air layering it about right here. So about a 1/2 inch from here to there. So that would be our tree. Might wind up using this or this as the new top. Probably this one, because this one's almost a 90°. So that's probably what I'm going to wind up doing. We'll see. It shouldn't need any wire on it. This next one, let's look at our bud selection here. So I've got a bunch of section rings here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th one is the only one that's got a, oh nope, there's a bud right there. So it goes up to the 3rd, 4th, whatever. But I believe this is probably going to wind up being the leader. So I'm going to bring it up to this bud here. I mean, these are some long internodes. But if that's our main trunk, it should be okay. That bud can go away. We'll have that one coming out this way. So if kind of hard to see. I don't know if I can use this top at all. I mean, there's just so much there. I may wind up just taking this one all the way down this year. It's just in so many different directions. Well, it's mostly in that direction. So if I took the whole top and used it as a windswept, and just took this down here off below. I mean, that's where everything is growing anyway, so yeah. So I've got this branch down here that's coming from here straight back. This one here. If I did the whole thing kind of windswept, we're going to do that. And so from there, I would need to bring this one down some. Or I can take this one off completely and use this as my main leader. And this should be easier. The stuff up at the top should be easier to bring all the way down. I think that's what I'm going to do. So this piece right here is coming off. I'm going to need to get these out of the way. And this has been the guy wires holding the tree into the pot. Yeah, I don't have any movement in that tree at all. So these can all come off. I don't need them anymore. They were really just there to make sure the tree didn't tip over in the pot. And now that it's secured, the roots have basically populated the whole pot. I can take them off. So we took this off, and so now everything is looking like it's going the other way. I'm gonna shove this down in the dirt, see what happens. Probably nothing, because it's like still middle of winter. There's no way that develops branches or roots. All right. So that's where we're going to go with it. Kind of windswept up here. And again, we'll probably air layer it about right there. Maybe right there. So we've got a little bit of movement that way, then back this way, here, and then this. So we'll probably wind up air layering it about right there. Oh, you can't see it. All right. So let's bring this up a little bit. All right, so we've got a little straight section right here. So this will probably be where I'm gonna air layer, about here. So we have some little bit of movement this way, then back up here, and then back this way. It's really subtle, so you might miss it a little bit. But it should be good. It's almost like the tree was growing up like against the face of a wall or something, or a cliff. And as it comes up and comes up over the top of that cliff, the branches are just pushed over that way. So we have that windswept design. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We'll air layer that about right there. And let's see. So we've got 5 right here. Where do we want to keep? We're going to take off this top one and take off this bottom one as well, because there's no bud on this ring right here. There's no bud on the second ring right here. So I've got that much of this branch that there's no way that it can be, it'll catch any buds right there. I do have a bud coming out right here, and I've got one coming out right here at the base. So if I keep those, I could bring this one down low, but if not, then I've got these two where it will have bifurcated. So I come in here, take that off. So once we actually start wiring this, we'll bring this down a little bit. So that'll be our real first directional branch. These two, I don't know. We may get rid of, but we'll save that for next year once we've actually come in and air layered this off and it's had time to root. We'll want this to have as much leaves as we can have, but it's still not like get out of proportion with the rest of the tree. So with this one, we'll come back here. Same thing over here. This one, I've got a bud on this line, and then nothing up there until you get up here. We'll come back here. Here, I've got a bud down here, and a bud there, two buds there. But again, these internodes are pretty long. This internode right here is pretty decent. So we'll actually come in here. And clip that off. This next one, we're good here. Next one is up here. So if we come all the way back to here, my first bud on this one is way up here. Well, I've got a bud here, but my next bud is not until way up here. So we're going to go ahead and cut back to this one. All right, so that is actually about where it will be planted. Right? Yeah. Ground level will be right about there. Probably tilt it a little bit. And we'll bring these down a little bit. About like that. So yeah, that is that one. Yeah, one more that I'm going to be working on, doing the same thing, trimming it back, figuring out where we're going to be air layering it. So it'll be a French leaf dissectum. One last little spin around. There you go. Yeah, I'll be right back with the other tree. So this is maple number 2, right here. And what we're going to be doing is we will take this about right there. We're going to air layer that top, and then the bottom is going to be what it is. So we will be bringing these down a little bit. Actually, we'll probably use this one as a second trunk. So we'll have this come up. Either this or this will be our first directional branch. Actually, it'll probably be this one because this one's coming off down low and cutting behind. So yeah, we'll start off on this top part. And really, not a whole lot to do to it, except maybe take it down to about right there, and right there, and right there. So, we have this one. Since we've got a shoot right here, we'll use that, but this is probably going to wind up being the apex. Although I don't have very much taper, so that probably will wind up being the apex. Get rid of this stuff on the center. I come in from the other side. That way I don't cut down into that bud that's right below there. Up the top. Here. Up there. This one up just a little bit. And then this one, just take that off. About like that. And with these, we'll just shorten these back to the first set of buds on all of them. So yeah, that is going to be our first little tree, and it'll be fairly small. It'll be almost mame size. In fact, if we brought this down, except I don't have any buds on it, but if we take this off, it would be a mame. From there, use this as our apex, and just take this completely off. We'll do that again after it roots, so not this year, but probably next spring or next winter. Once this roots, we'll cut it off probably beginning of summer, middle of summer, somewhere right in there. And then once that roots, we'll let that one settle for at least 6 months. We'll check the roots, make sure that they're producing roots, and if it's got enough roots on it to feed it, then we'll probably start working on this one as a little mame. So next thing we're going to be doing, and then once we take that off, we'll go ahead and get rid of this whole shoot. And then this will be our new leader for this trunk. And this will be our leader for the other trunk. And I kind of like how it is. We're just going to come in here, clean out the little dead bits. And then we'll just shorten back some of these that are overly long. And anywhere I've got more than 2 buds, or more than 2 branches, I'll take one of them out. Down here I've got 3 coming out from the same spot. This one probably needs to go. And this one probably needs to go, and then we can keep this one. Actually see all the way down here. Alright. Well, I know this one has to go because it's crossing. Probably want to keep this one. We can keep both of them. They're fairly small. So for now we'll keep both of these, and then we'll select buds probably after we top this one. Yeah, anywhere we've got anything that out of shape or in the wrong direction, we'll go ahead and take out any of these little dead tips that died off after its last pruning, which I didn't do. I bought it from the nursery like this. It was actually in the clearance section. It was half off. So that's always awesome when you can find something that's got some decent branching structure. We've got opposing branches here. This one on the inside, pretty bare. There's a few buds on it, but not until you get all the way up to here. So that whole section right there, no buds on it, or they all came off or something. But it had a couple of buds up at the top, but we don't really need anything that's that leggy, especially down here. And it was opposing this branch right here, which we'll probably bring out this way like that. So we'll come in here, put there, and there. This one's growing straight up. And competing with this, what's going to be our secondary trunk, this over here. So our two main trunks on this tree are going to be these two. After we air layer this off, this whole section is going to be coming off, so we'll be going down and over. This will be coming out and up. We may grow this one out. Maybe not. But I've got these 3 coming out from the same spot. I don't want to develop any reverse taper here. So if we take this one out, what are we left with? Which this can kind of be brought down and out like this. Our front, as far as the roots go, probably going to be about right there. Bring this out like that, and then up. This one, if we take this off, we can continue this up so we can kind of have a little triple trunk. 1, 2, 3. Actually, we might bring this all the way down to here and have this, and this as our 3 main trunks. So this is going to be our alright, we know this is gone. So that's going to be our air layer. That could also be our front. But then we see this this elbow right here. It kind of comes towards us and then the tree goes away. So I think that really does need to be the front right there. So if we're going to do that, we go all the way down. So you wouldn't even have that there at all. We drop this tree down to about right here. Decent little show hang. I think that's what we're going to do. So we know we're going to bring this way down. So we just have to decide this one or this one. I think we're going to keep this one. So take this all the way back to there. This guy comes off. And so our main trunk for this guy is going to come up this way, and we can bring this branch down into the back to kind of fill out. We'll have a few in the back. So if we're keeping this one, that means we don't need this one because it's directly underneath. So that answered our question on this. These 3 that were coming out here, we decided to keep this one. We've got 2 coming from here. This one's kind of growing a little bit straight up. So now, down here, we've got this guy, this guy, this is growing up. So this is going to be our dominant trunk. We may actually bring this down and use this as our right here. I would like to keep this, but I'm not seeing any buds up and down. That's something that we can worry about later. And then we're going to use this we're very straight from here to here. We've got a little bit I don't want this to thicken up much more. So that's what we're going to do. So we are going to pump this side up a little bit thicker. And once we probably wind up with this being our first directional branch, and then bring this one out this way. I like that. So that's our plans for that. We'll probably leave this one as is. And just pump some more size into this side. And then we'll have this leaf out, and this may come off. And so it would really be a so that's going to be going away. Maybe bring this one up to here. So we get rid of that. We'll have this, and then these up here in the middle with this drop down. Just go ahead and get rid of it. Okay, so that is our Mono no Sato Japanese maple. And we're going to get 3 tree out of that. And then this will cut down all the way to the base of it. So our main trunk is going to come up, over this way, up this way, and then back this way. I'll go ahead, throw a little bit of cut paste on this one. Forgot to put cut paste on that other one, but I'll go and do that as soon as I get done with this. And yeah. So until the next time I see y'all out at the bench in the backyard, just remember, keep your own big, but keep them small.